And welcome back to the CBS News Live webcast. It's been quite an evening here at the Pepsi Convention Center, a night of jubilation, passion, and certainly a lot of rousing oratory. It was a real family affair on stage just moments ago. We're going to try to re-rack that videotape so we can show you the scene. This was following a surprise appearance by Barack Obama. He wasn't scheduled to appear at this convention until his acceptance speech tomorrow night at Invesco Field. But he did surprise everyone and show up following Joe Biden's speech. Let's take a look. Planted one right on Jill Biden's lips. Joe Biden gave what Barack Obama called a very inspiring speech, talking about the problems of everyday Americans, average Americans, talking about what people are concerned about around their kitchen tables, portraying himself as a man who takes the train every day following his work in the U.S. Senate from Washington, D.C. He takes Amtrak from there to Wilmington, Delaware. But he also had some very, very harsh words for John McCain. Jeff Greenfield, there's been some complaints, at least early this week, that there hasn't been enough red meat at this convention. But tonight, that changed, didn't it?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you there, Jeff?
I'm right here, Katie. Now that we're on the web, I can say, how you doing, Katie?
How you doing, Jeff?
All right. So much more relaxed out here.
You're such a hipster, you.
Look at this suit. I mean, they wear this below 14th Street when they're trying to get into those cool clubs, Katie.
Oh, my God. Please don't do your Shecky at the Catskills thing, please. I mean, it's the web, okay?
You mean I can't? Well, never mind.
Anyway, listen, we were talking about Joe Biden's speech, and I was saying how James Carville and some other Democrats expressed concern that there weren't enough attacks on John McCain. You know, everybody made nice in 2004 when John Kerry was the nominee. He really didn't get a bounce after the convention in Boston. So they really took the gloves off tonight and started to really punch back at John McCain, didn't they, Jeff?
Yeah, actually, I think one of the speakers, former presidential nominee John Kerry, took a tactic that I think we may hear more of, which is the John McCain you think you know as a maverick is not the John McCain running for president this time. What Joe Biden did was simply to say, look, all this experience stuff on the key issues, that chant that vice presidential nominees must let the delegates chant. It's an old tradition. John McCain was wrong. Barack Obama was right. I must say, as a retired speechwriter, I like the first part of the speech better because, in my judgment, you know a speech is really good when the delegates quiet down and listen, which is what they were doing in the first part. And that was the part, as you mentioned, where he was really trying to connect on a very down-to-earth basis with those Democrats who, over the years, except for Bill Clinton, have left the party because they think the party doesn't share its values, doesn't share its concerns. And Joe Biden, on that score, has a pretty effective track record of talking to those kitchen table issues that the Democrats think and want to be the decisive issues in this campaign, Katie.
And Bob Schieffer, we talked a lot about Bill Clinton's speech, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment in our more casual webcast. But I'm curious what you thought about Joe Biden, and if you could also, in your answer, address the attacks he made against John McCain, if you think they were effective, Bob.
I thought so. I mean, this is what the campaign is going to be about. It's going to be about, on the one hand, what the Republicans will claim is Barack Obama's lack of experience, and on the other hand, what the Democrats are going to claim is John McCain's lack of judgment. That's where they're going to make the campaign here. That's where they're going to try to draw the line. You've been seeing all these ads that McCain released today that it is dangerously inexperienced when he talks about Barack Obama. That's what Joe Biden's speech was all about tonight. They got to be very careful when they criticize John McCain because he is a true American hero. But you heard Joe Biden say tonight, it's going to take more than a good soldier. It's going to take a wise leader. I think you're going to hear that line more and more. You really saw the campaign laid out tonight and the battleground on which it's going to be fought, I thought.
Hey, you guys, I have a web question for you, Bob, and you, Jeff. And Joe Trippi, if you want to chime in, that would be great, too. It's pretty loud here right now. But Earl from North Carolina wrote in and asked, after Bill Clinton's speech, would this be the end of the Clinton era? Jeff Greenfield, I don't think Chelsea Clinton has any aspirations to run for office, so I guess the answer to that is yes, isn't it?
Well, you're assuming that Barack Obama is going to be elected president in 2008. Should
Good
Barack
point.
Obama not, I have a feeling Senator Clinton would be looking at 2012 and thinking, I don't know, I came real close last time. Let's take another shot at it. There's certainly no dynasty, but there is a Senator Clinton who's very much a factor in the Democratic Party.
And Bob, what do you think Hillary Clinton might do next? I mean, do you think she'll try to become Senate Majority Leader? Do you think she'll vie for a spot on the Supreme Court? What about her future?
I think that Hillary Clinton will stay in the United States Senate and continue to be a good senator, try to be a good senator for her state. I think even Republicans would agree that she has represented her state very well. New York is New York. She'll get all the visibility that she needs. She's known for getting down to work. When she first came to the Senate, she did that. I think Hillary Clinton will stay in the Senate, and depending what happens on this next election, she'll try again in 2012, as sure as we're standing there, if Barack Obama is not elected this time. One thing, Katie, that the Clintons wanted to make sure and will try to make certain that everybody understands, if somehow Barack Obama does not win this election, they do not want to be looked upon as two people who didn't try as hard as they could to get Barack Obama elected. It looks like somehow they wound up being blamed for Barack Obama's loss. I think that would doom any chance that she had to run again. But I think Hillary Clinton is going to go back to work in the Senate, see what happens, and I do not think this is the end of the Clinton era.
All right. Thank you for that answer. Hey, Byron, are you out there?
Here in Ohio. How are you?
Hey, Byron, I don't know about you, but the last couple of nights really have paled in comparison in terms of the energy level.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I mean, people are still here milling around. Is it my imagination? I know he's up there up on the steps. Everybody's pointing to you, Byron. Oh, there you are, right there in front of me. Anyway, everybody seems a bit more energized tonight than they have for the past two nights, and you've got some delegates you're going to talk to about that. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you guys.
Katie, that's Betty Thomas. And when Barack Obama walked on stage with Joe Biden, she screamed, "That's our dream team."
Right. That's right. I did. They knocked it out of the park. They're the greatest. We're going to do this. We're all united. The nation's going to come together and talk about family values and American values. That is the dream team right there.
Steve Lieber is a delegate. He's a retired union rep from Cleveland. Can these two men connect when you go back to the Union Hall and try and sell this team to your guys back in Cleveland?
Absolutely. Joe Biden is the perfect complement to Barack Obama. Where people look at Barack as a little bit more polished, Joe Biden is a little bit rougher around the edges and more working class, and the two of them are the perfect complement to bring this home for the Democrats and the American people and get us back where we want to be.
All right.
And the independents. And the independents.
All right. Mark Mallory, he is a super delegate. He's the mayor of Cincinnati. Can this team work? I mean, one of the issues we talked about a lot today on the CBS TV News, the issue of race. Can Barack Obama connect with working class whites in places like Cincinnati?
Well, absolutely. Keep in mind that this is the Democratic Party, so this building has been full of working class whites here tonight. This ticket truly understands what it takes for the American family to be able to recover from 8 years of the Bush administration. The John McCain camp has made it very clear they intend to continue the kind of failed economic policies that Bush had in place. That's why you saw the Freudian slips tonight when a couple of our speakers referred to John McCain as George Bush.
Oh, I'm sure there was a slip. It wasn't intentional.
I'm sure it wasn't intentional at all. But clearly, Obama and Biden truly understand what it takes to turn the country around.
Specifically, what did you hear Joe Biden say tonight that you think will connect in places like Cincinnati, Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Well, Joe Biden is somebody that I think people can connect to immediately. He doesn't come from wealth. He is a hardworking guy. He's a tough guy. He speaks his mind. I think in areas like Cincinnati and areas like Cleveland and Columbus and even in rural Ohio, people respect that. People want to be a part of that. He also talked about the things that are important to American families, rebuilding this economy, making sure that we have a presence around the world that is appropriate. The Bush administration has really squandered our leadership around the world.
Mark Mallory, Mayor of Cincinnati, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Steve and Betty, thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Byron, you take care.
There they are.
All right.
Byron, dude, it's a webcast. It's not a mini-series. Wrap it up.
All right, sis, back to you.
Hey, listen, I want you and George, is Rodney with you too, your
Yes.
producer? Why don't you guys cruise the convention floor and see if you can find some interesting people to talk to?
Roller skates on, we're moving.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, guys.
And next time, take the rap, will you? Just kidding, Byron. We love you.
Thank you, sis.
Okay,
Feel the
listen,
same.
I want to mention that there's a report right now that says, according to the New York Times, Senator John McCain has picked his running mate and will formally announce his choice on Friday at 11 a.m. in Dayton, Ohio, which obviously is a very important state. A Republican, no one has won the presidency without winning the state of Ohio, the Buckeye State, since 1956. You must think I'm just a wealth of useful and useless information, but it's really my trusty researcher, Brian Goldsmith, who feeds me all this stuff. Anyway, it says McCain's potential running mates were in what amounted to a high-stakes waiting game Wednesday as the Republican presidential nominee in waiting prepared to announce his running mate in the coming days. The two believed to be under the most serious consideration, Tim Pawlenty and former Massachusetts, by the way, he's the governor of Minnesota, and Mitt Romney, of course, the former governor of Massachusetts. Okay, that's all I can really read right now. Two other possibilities said to be longer shots, Joe Lieberman and Governor Tom Ridge. Okay, so I got to go to Dan Bartlett on this and ask him about John McCain really quickly. So, Dan, you heard that. I mean, are they trying to steal a little thunder from this big night? What's going on here?
Well, this is the pattern all week. It's been some smart tactical strategy by the McCain campaign to try as much as they can on a big night like tonight, where the Democrats brought out their biggest guns, to try to throw a little bit of speculation, a little chum in the water on a vice presidential pick. The media always takes the bait when it comes to who can get there first, and that was rippling through here during the speeches. And you can probably expect more of this kind of floating going out over the next 24 hours, and then boom, Friday, they're going to really drop the hammer, announce the new candidate, try to step on Barack Obama's speech, stop any momentum, and really turn all attention to Minneapolis.
Yeah, I have to ask you, Dan, because we've got an internet question, and this is Ted from Connecticut. He says, do you think the consideration of Lieberman is a fleeting attempt to steal disgruntled Hillary voters? What do you think of that?
I don't know if it's fleeting. I think it's actually a very honest and serious conversation within the McCain campaign. I think it was noted earlier on the broadcast that John McCain and Joe Lieberman are probably the best of friends when it comes to the United States Senate. I think if you could throw all other political considerations into the wind, a lot of people believe John McCain would pick Joe Lieberman. So I actually think it's a serious conversation. And what they have to calculate is that the train wreck that would actually happen next week at the convention, if he were to pick Joe Lieberman, a Democrat, could that be made up in the number of independents or discerning Democrats who are maybe not be comfortable with Barack Obama? They're trying to do that calculation now. He's obviously made up his mind. I personally don't believe he'll go that route. I think he'll go a more traditional route. We have been a country that has used our political nominating process within our own parties to elect our presidents. I don't see the dynamic changing much here. The closing of the polls, I think all those things will lend to a more conventional pick and not Joe Lieberman.
Oh, by the way, I should correct myself and say no Republican has won the presidency without winning Ohio.
That's true.
Since 1956, so I stand corrected. I want to make sure I get my political factoids correct. By the way, Dan, thank you very much. We'll be talking to you soon. I appreciate you sort of stretching, because as you were talking, Valerie Biden Owens joined us here. And I know it's hard, by the way. We should mention, and we'll talk to you in 2 seconds, but Dean Reynolds is waiting. I'm sorry, Valerie, it's a little crazy here. Do you mind waiting 2 seconds?
Not at all.
Thank you. Hey, Dean, I know you were with Barack Obama, and you got his reaction to President Clinton's speech. What did he have to say about it? First of all, welcome to the webcast, Dean.
Thank you, Katie. Well, he had a couple of words. Great speech. But I think you cannot overestimate the importance of Bill Clinton's remarks to Barack Obama. I mean, let's face it, his devotion to this candidacy was an open question. And seeing that stem winder down there on the floor of the convention as Barack Obama sat around with his family and friends up in his hotel room had to be a great comfort to him, because now he can at least claim unity among the Democrats as he takes the race to John McCain. Of course, now he's turning to his own remarks, which I'm told are being tweaked even as we speak still. And we're told that this speech will be not the soaring rhetoric of the keynote speech in 2004 in Boston when he was thrust onto the national spotlight. Instead, it will be a stark speech outlining the choices confronting the United States, and a sobering speech on exactly what 4 more years of Republican rule would mean to the nation, and how Barack Obama and why Barack Obama believes the nation must avoid that fate. So the smiles you saw tonight, I think, are going to be replaced by a much more serious demeanor tomorrow night.
Yeah, Dean, I just want to ask you really quickly about the decision to give the acceptance speech at Invesco Field. 76,000 people, really a venue that would be appropriate for a rock star, given the fact that John McCain has criticized Barack Obama as being a celebrity. I understand they're building like a huge backdrop there with columns and everything. A friend of mine who's a political commentator called it Plato's Retreat. Not sure exactly what that means, Dean, but are they having second thoughts about setting this speech in such a massive, expansive venue?
Well, I'm sure at one point it sounded like a terrific idea, more like the Berlin speech. But of course, the Berlin speech happened before McCain went after him as the huge celebrity with nothing other than big speeches. And now they're stuck with this enormous tableau of Invesco Field over there. And I guess they're going to have like Greek columns. And they are pointing out to us that Greek columns were also a feature of George Bush's stage in 2004. So it's one of these kind of so's your old man sort of debates right now.
Really? Yeah. It seems weird they'd be following in the footsteps of the man they considered their nemesis. But anyway, it'll be really interesting to see the speech and see how it's received. Dean, thank you so much. I know it's been a long day, and if you need to go anywhere, go ahead and do it, or go have a drink and have one for me, will you?
I will. I promise.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dean. It's nice to see you smile on TV.
Thank you.
You should do the web more often. You know that?
Happy to do it.
Okay. Thanks, Dean. All right. Valerie Biden-Owens has been very patiently waiting to talk to me. First of all, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So
it's
nice to see you. You're more than Joe Biden's sister. You have been really in charge of his campaigns for many, many years. So you were intimately aware of not only him as a brother, but his political views and how he conducts himself in a campaign setting. What do you think he's going to bring to this ticket?
I think he's a champion, and he will bring to the ticket all the values that matter most in regular, ordinary people's lives. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but what matters to him, which is things that of hope and of change. But change, when people talk about crises, they generally think about the world crisis or what's happening in foreign policy. But regular people every single day have many challenges and crises. And I think that Joe and Barack both believe that the government's there not to fix everything, but to listen to them and try and help solve them.
Now, were you surprised when he was ultimately tapped? I mean, there was so much speculation, Valerie, for
weeks.
Of course I was. Would it be Tim Kaine? Would it be Evan Bide? Your brother kind of seemed to kind of come up sort of at the end and cross the finish line just in the nick of time. But what was your reaction? And did you think he was really a serious contender for a while?
Well, I thought he probably would, given what Barack's philosophy. I don't know Senator Obama well. I just know what he says and what his outline is. And with that in mind, then I thought Joe would be absolutely a perfect candidate. But there are lots of good men and women out there, and I just thought it was out of our hands. It was in Senator Obama's hands, and what would happen would happen. We did what we thought was the right thing at the right time for the right reasons, and then it just took a life of its own, took a course of its own.
You must have been pretty proud and excited.
Listen, when Joe was elected, which Bo referred to in 1972,
he was just 29 years old.
He's the first senator that he and I ever met. So he's come a long way, baby. I mean, and it's a thrill. It's just as a thrill.
But also to see your mom, who's 91, right?
Yes, Mom's 91.
Sitting up here, and to hear, it was very cute because Senator Biden, your brother, Joe, was talking about all the lessons that she taught him.
Yeah.
When he stuttered, saying he was so smart, his words couldn't come out fast enough, and all those things. And your mom was so cute because she'd look to the person next to him and said, I said that.
Yes,
I did.
She did. She's fierce and she's passionate, and she taught. I mean, the most important thing. I mean, it was such a gift to grow up in our home, like many Americans, many people in the world, and know that you were loved. And no matter what happened, they'd be there for you. And she always told us there's nothing closer than brothers and sisters. And what you got to do, you got to stick together.
Yeah. And saying, Joey, you're so handsome. I'm sure she said, you're so beautiful, Valerie, right?
Well, you never believe it.
Come on.
But yes, she was always, she was a great woman, and she is a great woman. Gave us strength to think we could do anything that we wanted to do. That's what my brother has always done from the time that I was a kid. No matter what he did, he'd look at me and he'd say, you could do it better. And if he was smart, he'd say, well, you're smarter. And a confidence, he gave me a confidence and a reason to reach a lot farther than I think that I ever would have reached. He gave me great opportunities.
All right. Well, Valerie Biden Owens, thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, and tell your brother we said congratulations.
And Bo sends his best, too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Tell Bo hi. I haven't met Hunter or Ashley.
Didn't he do wonderfully tonight, Bo?
Yeah, he did an excellent job.
President Clinton, great night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I felt like this convention center was energized tonight much more than it really has been.
We're going. We're going to do this thing.
All right. Well,
thank you.
As a nonpartisan journalist.
Oh, yes.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to go to one internet question, if I could. Then I'm going to take you guys for a tour of the bloggers tent, which I went to yesterday, which was actually really cool for all you techies and you web folks. They're all assembled under this huge environmentally friendly tent, which is basically near here. But first, we have a web question, and I thought I would address this to Joe Trippi because you're a Democratic strategist, Joe. So the question is from Evan from Birmingham, Alabama, and he's asking, do you think Obama really has a chance in the South, and why? What do you think?
Yeah,
Are you there, Joe?
Yes, I am, Katie. I think he does have a chance because he has amazing resources and the ability to spread his organization across all 50 states. And I think that's what this campaign's done so amazingly. It's actually what defeated Hillary Clinton in the states that he did. It was his organization. It's his ability. The organization to change. I'm having some real hard time.
Yeah, sorry, we're having some audio problems, but I think I can hear you, Joe. Well, actually, you want to wait?
Yeah, maybe I can.
Whoa, what happened to your camera?
Oh, there it is.
Who knows? You know what? I'll come back to you, Joe, in a minute, okay? Hey, Byron Pitts, are you out there?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, good. Hey, I can hear you fine. Where are you, by the way?
Where am I exactly, Katie? Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm over by the New York delegation. Some young people here are taking pictures. My colleague, George Christian, who's been...
Where's George? Was George taking a nap?
Not quite. He was taking a well-deserved break. Like all of our technicians.
Tell George we're on the air, George.
He's on it. Katie, we're going to walk around a little bit.
Okay, why don't you walk around? Do you want to walk and look for something interesting?
Working with you. You take
Get back
care.
to me.
I won't be on the field tomorrow.
You leaving me?
I'm leaving you.
Now, you're one of the whips, is that right?
Yeah.
Now, what was your job exactly during the...
Well, my job was to make sure that signs got out, that everything was good on the floor with my delegation.
So when you roughed me up 2 days ago, that was just business?
Yeah, that was all business. Being a union member and all, you know, I had to do what I had to do.
All right. Take care. Good night. So, Katie, people are lingering around. One thing I want to show you, if I can.
Yeah, sure.
There are no spontaneous moments, or very few at these conventions, right?
Yeah.
All those signs that they put up, well, volunteers go around at different points during the convention and hand them out. Like at one point, for instance, when Joe Biden first came up, volunteers ran around and handed out these signs, right?
Yeah.
Earlier, before that, when President Clinton came out.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, how are you? Oh, can I see that sign before you take it away? When Obama came out, right, and he joined Biden on the stage, they came up with this sign: Obama for the change we need. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that.
You should save some of those, Byron, because those will be collector's items. You should save some of those.
Now, is that stealing or what is that?
No. If they're on the floor, I think they're anybody's, don't you?
Okay. All right. Here's one they put up when Biden was criticizing Senator McCain.
Yeah.
McCain, more of the same. Had the little chant thing going on. Here you go, guys. Now, you guys saving these as
yes.
souvenirs?
Yeah.
Yes? Where y'all from?
Washington.
Washington State.
The great state of Washington,
okay.
Yes.
All right. So what did you guys think of tonight, Senator Biden?
Thought Biden was great. He really socked it to McCain.
You think so?
I think so. And he also showed his foreign policy experience, the depth of his experience. I think he'll be a great vice president.
All right. Now, you're going to get those on a plane headed back to Washington?
You betcha.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Everybody's your brother, Byron. Hey, listen, while we're on the subject of signs, Byron, you keep trolling for fun people to talk to.
This is an old buddy of mine from Boston. Can I say
really quickly, Byron, this is not Byron Pitts, this is your life.
Yes, ma'am. Back to you, Katie.
Okay, you can talk to him. We'll come back to you in a moment, Byron. Right. But you know what? While you're on the subject of signs, Joe Trippi, can you hear me now? Sound like an AT&T commercial. Are you there, Joe?
Hey, Katie, can I just say one thing before we get going?
Yeah.
I swear that in the middle of that Biden speech, I saw Dan Bartlett's knees shaking. I want to say that. Just make it really clear.
Well, you know, he had me at hello. I didn't know what to do.
That's a beautiful thing. But, Joe, while we're on the subject of signs, Byron was talking about it, and we talked about actually a pretty funny story that almost seems like a moot point at this juncture in the convention. But let's talk about those Hillary signs. There was a sea of white Hillary signs last night. You were supposed to bring one and have a visual aid, Joe.
I don't have it.
Did you forget your assignment?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. I think most people remember those Hillary signs from last night. Tell us the backstory, Joe.
Well, the Hillary people provided art to the Obama people, evidently, that said, "We love Hillary." And the Obama people thought that was a little over top, and they went back and forth about what words should be on the sign. And finally, I guess in the sense of unity, they could agree on one word, and that was Hillary, and that's how we got those sea of white signs with her name on them across the floor last night.
And there's a little postscript to that story, Joe, too, right? Because apparently some of the Obama campaign organizers freaked out mildly that there were so many Hillary signs in the convention center that they started handing out the Obama signs a little bit early, so it wouldn't really look like Hillary Clinton's convention, right?
Yeah, but the picture was out. The picture was out already. They couldn't change it fast.
We have to put a button on this, though. Do you think that stuff has been laid to rest?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what Hillary and Bill Clinton have done over the last two nights, and I said it earlier, but I think it's true. A lot of people wondered, did the Obama err by giving the Clintons so much time? And look, they delivered. The only way he can get the Democrats he needs is for Hillary and Bill Clinton to be there and to have them say the things that they've done and to unify the party. They did that. Can't ask for anything more. I do think, just to answer the internet question, so we don't.
Oh yeah, we don't want to ignore that.
I don't want to do that. It's a good question. I think what's going to happen here is the Obama campaign is trying to spread the field, take money and resources and organization into states like Virginia, and push McCain, make McCain chase them in the states like North Carolina, where they shouldn't have a chance to win, but the Obama campaign is pressing. Now, as McCain starts to dwindle his resources and sort of has to compete in more and more states, Obama actually could have a chance to pick some of those states up, or by forcing McCain to spend money in the South, outcompete him in a state like Ohio or Pennsylvania and Michigan. So I think right now it's advantage Obama because of resources and organization. And yes, I do think it's possible that there'll be some surprises.
Okay, Joe. All right. Thank you very much. Don't mean to cut you off, but we got a lot to do. And in fact, I've got some guests up here on the platform. I'd like to introduce you all to Steve Grove. He's head of news and politics for YouTube. Hi, Steve. Nice to see you again. And Declan McCullough. Hi, Declan.
Howdy.
Very nice to see you. Declan is chief political correspondent for CNET and CBSNews.com. Thank you guys for stopping by. Before we chat, we've got actually some internet questions for you guys that have to deal with technology. But I just want to show this quick tour that I took of the bloggers tent. We met there. You guys gave me a smoothie and a quick massage. Not you, but the people you have on hand. Anyway, let's show a quick tour of the bloggers tent, and then we'll talk. Tell me a little bit about the blogging tent here.
Well, the Big Tent is hosted by Alliance for Sustainable Colorado, Daily Coast, and Progress Now. It's a nonpartisan event, and it's literally and figuratively a big tent. We've invited 500 bloggers to come to cover the convention.
My name is Jane Hampshire. I'm with the blog FireDogLake.com, and we're here covering the convention.
My name is Arjun Jaikumar. I'm from Daily Coast.
I'm with Women's Voices, Women Vote. I'm with the Sunlight Foundation. We're at sunlightfoundation.com. We create greater transparency about what's really going on in Congress. My blog was started in 2004. It was a hobby that kind of ballooned into a giant proposition that takes about 24/7.
Are you spending most of your time outside this tent?
So far, a good bit of it. I mean, there's so many events going on this week and so much to do in a relatively short time that it's impossible to get everywhere.
Well, let's look around, because I've only been to the Google masseuse and the YouTube smoothie stand, so let's take a look around. Okay, I only have like 30 seconds, so make it really good. I'll do my best. Okay. Hi, everybody. Here at the YouTube tent, they give you massages, so all these bloggers, they're really tired, their neck gets tired, they're at their computer all day. They probably get a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome. We're doing a live webcast. Might as well use this as a shameless promotion, right? After our primetime show every night, where we're going to take some of your questions and ask our experts.
Hi, my name is Mel. Right now I'm greeting people, just bringing them in, letting them feel welcome, like this is a place they can relax and unwind after some of the stresses outside.
So all day long we have yoga practices. A lot of volunteers have come forward to just be and share and help the people come in here relax. And so we have different practices and different practitioners, and they do this incredible work all day.
Are you guys all yoga instructors or bloggers?
Yoga instructors.
Gee, how did I know that? You don't need to spot me.
Okay, see if you can bring your elbows together just a little bit.
Okay, then girls, do your pike thing. Can you do the pike thing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'll try to do that too.
Beautiful.
And then go back up.
Oh my God.
Katie, are you teaching us a class?
Mother of God.
Good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Woohoo! You did it.
Thank you.
Woo! Lovely.
That was excellent.
The internet is really changing the way political conventions, they're changing the way of the world, but haven't you seen a massive difference between even 2004 and this convention?
Well, it's interesting. I wasn't at the 2004 conventions, but it is interesting to sort of be on the ground because there's lots of different voices in the conversation now, so it's great.
Lots of different voices, and you guys can tell us a little bit more about all the bloggers. There are 500 bloggers in that tent, is that right?
Yeah, that's about right.
And they had to pay $100 a piece, right? And it's about alternative energy and sustainable building, isn't it? Because the folks who are sponsoring it have this very environmentally friendly structure that they're hosting the bloggers in, right, Steve?
They do, and just outside, actually, you can take for free a bike to get around Denver, and so that you're not using a car and using fuel that way. So there's actually, I like a lot of ways to be green here at the convention.
What do you think, Declan, of the whole scene under the bloggers tent? Have you been spending a lot of time there?
I have been. I spent the morning there and was there yesterday. A lot of the bloggers couldn't get official credentials to come into this hall where we are right now, and so they instead decided to camp out there. And it's actually a very fun and welcoming workspace. There's a lot more energy there in the bloggers tent than there is in the bloggers quarters here in the convention hall.
Okay, listen, I've got some internet questions for you guys, which is appropriate. Declan, this is a question from Michael in California, and I certainly can't answer this, and hopefully you guys can. The question is, what are the candidates' positions on technology issues such as net neutrality and copyrights, and in what ways do you think those opinions will affect the ways Americans communicate and share media with each other? Take it away. You have 20 seconds. Yeah.
Well, I mean, elections aren't going to turn in large part on things like net neutrality or privacy or copyright, but they might turn in small part on it. If someone's sort of wavering, then maybe a privacy position will make a difference. On net neutrality, there's a big difference between the two. Obama said, I support it, I support it, I support it. He has not wavered in that. And McCain has been very skeptical. He says, well, is this something that we really need right now? Do we need to regulate broadband providers even before there's a problem? There's on copyright, there's less of a distinction, I should say. Obama says, let's reform copyright laws, let's make them maybe more consumer and fair use friendly. McCain says, no, let's have more peer-to-peer prosecutions. The difference comes, or the problem comes with Joe Biden, who's been the recording industry's best friend on Capitol Hill for a long time. He's supported legislation to spend $1 billion monitoring peer-to-peer networks. He's been feted at events. This is not someone who's hostile to expansive views of copyright law.
He's hostile or not?
He's not in any way hostile to it. He's been a friend of the recording industry, the movie industry, basically large copyright holders.
All right. Well, whatever that meant. I'm just kidding, Steve. What about tech savviness? How important? No, Declan, that was fascinating. Seriously.
Fascinating.
No.
You're being entirely sincere. I can tell.
I am. But how important is technology in this race? It does seem like, the Obama campaign is so much more sophisticated than the McCain effort. Is that an unfair characterization, you think?
Well, they've been great online. I think, tech savviness matters for fundraising, for organizing, and then it matters to really drive the news cycle. And what the Obama campaign is essentially create their own TV station on YouTube. So they upload 2 or 3 videos to the site a day, kind of giving an inside look at what's happening on the campaign trail. Senator Obama often engages directly with audiences and takes questions, much like you're doing here tonight. And so it's actually a way, I think, for them to engage with audiences directly without needing the media as a middleman anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you guys stopped by. Steve Grove, Declan McCullough. Declan, come back anytime and let's talk about copyright law a little bit more.
Okay, you're laughing, but
I'm not really laughing.
There are tens of millions of people who use peer-to-peer networks, and they vote.
Yeah, you know what? I think you need to sit down and maybe explain this all to me another time.
We'll make a YouTube video.
Yeah, definitely. An instructional video for me on peer-to-peer. What?
Networks, peer-to-peer file sharing.
Okay, exactly. Okay, we're going to go to Mark Amador in a second. He is our CBS News political expert, and he really helps us cover all things political here at CBS. But first, can I show some of the paraphernalia that we've gathered? Okay, anyhow, these are some of the buttons I've picked up. I Like It Wild. This is the Wilderness Society. This is Bronco Obama. There you go. This one is very popular, I think, in the bloggers' tent. This is Ask Me How Many Houses I Own. And this is a little racy, but I guess because we're on the web, it says, protect yourself from John McCain on this election. And anyhow, you can imagine what's inside this little packet. Right, Steve?
Yeah.
All right. So Mark Amador did a little video of Mark Amador Unplugged. He does a lot of blogging. And as I said, he's one of our best sources for all things political. Let's take a look at that.
My first question generally is, what do you think of the Democrats' convention so far? Yeah. Nice to see you. What are you doing here? What do you think so far?
Great night last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm around. I definitely want to meet him.
You know Rich Greer?
How are you? Oh yeah, we met before. Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm with CBS. I presume we can't shoot it here, but this is the Tuaca Lounge, the one for $150,000 donors. Can't speak to the press. No press. But this is the $150,000 lounge. They paid $100. No, that's fine. Can you at least tell us what the food is? No. All right. If they won't let us in, then why don't we just peek in? See, we can see the food here. There we go. It's like an empty bar and basic cheese, nuggets, Tuaca children. Not bad. My question is the food worth $150,000?
I don't think you go to the lounge for the food.
Former Chief of Staff for George Allen of Virginia. And you are here...
Well, now I represent manufacturers, National Association of Manufacturers.
From your experience in Virginia, you must know Mark Warner a bit.
I know him very well.
If he had been on the ticket, would you have considered voting for the Democratic ticket?
I think a lot of Republicans would probably have considered voting for Mark Warner because I really believe that Mark Warner is the future of the Democratic Party.
I'm a delegate. They want to get a look at what it's like to be a delegate from the floor. I may be one of the highest profile delegates in the country. I'm James G. I'm the former U.S. Army Muslim chaplain.
Oh my goodness,
of
you are.
Guantanamo Bay. I was the one that was falsely accused of spying, espionage, aiding the enemy, was thrown in jail by the Bush administration.
Have you met Senator Obama?
Not yet, but he's inspired me to really get involved with the process.
Give me a pointer for being on television.
I can give you a couple.
Please.
First of all, before you open your mouth, have some idea what you're going to say.
Be on TV,
on the other
that's
hand,
the criteria.
Sometimes all that's necessary in television today is just keeping your mouth moving. And you could do that.
I could do that. And that was, very famous professional wrestler. I'm a little starstruck. People like it because it preserves Clinton's dignity.
Right.
Well.
When she doesn't get embarrassed by a vote.
Because she has, this is a balancing act. She's a strong political figure in her own right, and she needs to preserve that. And she has to acknowledge her place in the firmament and praise Obama, in addition to doing everything else she has to do. So.
Okay, cool. I really appreciate it.
All right, now I got to go blog.
Where are you going?
I got to go blog. My day job.
Okay, Mark Amador. Where are you? Isn't Mark out on the floor? Hey, Mark, good job. Do you think you might want to stop blogging and quit print and go into television? Come on, Mark.
You could call that Amador unhinged.
Did you have fun doing that, though?
I had a lot of fun, yes.
And I think, what do you think has been the most challenging part of covering this convention, Mark?
Well, there's so much going on and so many stories. What's fascinating about this convention is that there are actual stories to cover. In this convention, like others, is kind of a commercial for Barack Obama, but there was certainly plenty of drama and tension. For example, today we really didn't know the order of the roll call, and we found out live as it happened, which is kind of exciting.
All right. Well, listen, you are such a big help to us in this political season, and I look forward to your emails every day, actually every hour on the hour mark. So I'll talk to you later. Go do some reporting, will you?
Will do.
Okay, thank you, Mark. All right, now I'm here with some great youth reporters, I guess. Is that what young reporters? Let me introduce everybody. This is Jason Fisher. He's a recent graduate from Syracuse University. Allie Weissman, right? Allie. And Allie graduated from USC. She's a reporter for UWire. We'll explain what UWire is in a second. And this is Malcolm Glenn. He is right now editor of the Harvard Crimson, Mr. Smarty Pants, Harvard class of 2009. Basically, you guys work for UWire, which is like a wire service that provides stories for college campuses all across the country. Is that right?
Yeah, it showcases student work, whether it's video, newspaper articles, blogs, all the above.
Now, a lot of college students are probably envious. How did you guys get this gig? Did you have to apply for it?
We're very lucky. I think we each have different stories, but we each have experiences in broadcasting or reporting and are very politically aware and involved, and the timing was right, and we got lucky, and we're here now with you.
And you grew up as the son of a politician, right? What did your dad do?
My father was a former Attorney General of the state of Ohio. He's currently Lieutenant Governor of Ohio. His name's Lee Fisher.
And you did a documentary about growing up in a political family.
Exactly. You did your homework.
Swing State?
Wow,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Swing State. SwingState08.com.
Isn't that Kevin Costner's cheesy new movie?
Yeah, that's Swing Vote.
Oh, Swing Vote.
Our
okay.
PR campaign, our PR, strategy is to let them spend all the money and have people be confused and then come see our film.
All right, let me. We met in the hallway earlier in the bowels of the building, if you will, and we talked about some of the things that you guys are interested in. And let me start with you, Allie. You've been kind of on the celebrity beat. You're sort of the extra reporter of the conventions, right? Covering red carpets, getting more information about celebrity involvement in the political process.
Yeah.
Who was the most impressive celebrity you've met?
The most impressive celebrity I've met. You know, they've all been so interesting. There's so many out here at the convention this week. We've talked to everyone from Fran Drescher to...
Did she go,
She did. I had her do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do a good impression of that, by the way.
Thank you.
And NERD, bands like Fall Out Boy with Pete Wentz. It's really a varied group. I'm looking for Oprah. So I'm trying to find her. If you know where.
You've been going to some parties. Gosh, she's got the good beat, you guys.
I know. I have a really fun one.
Who's the dumbest celebrity you've met?
No one is dumb, but the most quiet has been Paris Hilton.
Okay. All right. Listen, moving right along to Malcolm. Actually, let me go to Jason first. I know I'm hurrying, Rick. He's rushing me, but I want these kids to have their moment in the sun. So we'll be done in 2 seconds. So you were focusing really on the youth vote, but you've talked a lot about the Obama youth effort versus McCain. Can McCain catch up with Obama in that regard, you think?
Well, certainly we're here in Denver, and everyone we talk to is really excited about Barack Obama. I mean, 10 out of 10 young people that we've spoken to is really excited about this candidate in particular.
Are you guys going to St. Paul?
I think that's up to you, Katie. If you make it happen, we'll be there.
And finally, let me go to Malcolm. You know, we talked about voter turnout. They've been talking about the youth vote for decades now, but you think this year it might really happen?
You know, it's interesting because I was backstage just now and I shook Senator Obama's hand, and the people who were around me, it was just unbelievable the kind of passion they had and how excited they were about the candidate. I really think it is about the candidate, and I think this is going to be that year.
And turnout has increased in 2004 and 2006,
2004 was the greatest turnout by the youth vote since 1968, I believe.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been having this conversation every year that this is going to be the year in which it really makes a difference. I think this is actually going to be.
Well,
that
they're
year.
certainly organized in terms of getting out the vote and registering new voters. Okay, you guys, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Katie. Nice to see you again.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, as you guys leave, this is sort of raw behind the scenes, so we have to sort of...
You have to pretend like we're...
Yeah, no, it's okay. We just can't go to a commercial break or a beautiful wide shot of the convention and have like lovely political music in the background. So you guys can... Actually, I'm going to bring these guys up. Thank you. See, they know how to do their microphone. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming by. Okay, this is our weird booking of the night. How are you?
Oh, well,
You know, I need to get a handheld mic up here because then we don't have to worry about miking everybody. In Minneapolis, you guys, we're going to have a lot fewer technical problems, I'm sure. So, hi. All right, so what up with you guys? You're an angel and a devil, and you're running around the convention. Hi, how are you?
Well,
nice to meet you. Nice wings. So what's your deal?
Well, my name is Lucifer. Friends call me Lou. I am the devil. This is my associate.
Hi, I'm Angelica.
Angelica,
Angelica's
okay.
an angel. So, as the devil, I get one day every year to do bad things. And there's a group, that day, of course, is Halloween, October 31st.
Right.
There's a group out there led by this angel, and they're doing something called Trick or Vote. And Trick or Vote is a nationwide get-out-the-vote canvas on Halloween in costume in 25 cities in 12 states all across the country. They're trying to take a day that's meant for bad and do something very good with it, which frankly rankles me quite heavily, being the devil and all.
Yeah, so what are you trying to do again?
It's a get-out-the-vote canvas. They're going door to door and knocking on doors and reminding young people to turn in their ballots or to go to the polls on November 4th.
Instead of getting candy?
Well, they get candy too. Well, see, I like candy. I invented sugar, you see.
Oh, yes,
Naturally.
I'm sure you
Naturally.
did.
Yeah.
And you invented cream cheese, right? Oh, no, you've seen those ads.
That's me
Anyway.
too. I'm all about the cream cheese too. They've got folks going to this website, trickorvote.org.
Yeah.
And they go there and they see if there's a city nearby them where they can take part in this trick or vote business.
So what do you give the person who you go trick-or-treating to?
Well, they're giving these folks stuff such as materials to let them know where their polling location is or what the deadlines are for turning in ballots. Information that's really helpful and really good and good stuff.
Yeah, and how big is this organization, if I may ask?
Well, the organization is it's the bus.
You and Angelica?
Well, I'm actively working against this one. I don't want to get this confused. There are 5 Western states called the Bus Federation, and they're working nationwide though in 25 cities, 12 states. But they are called the Bus Federation. They stuck this on me. I'm on the bus, and I couldn't help but notice that earlier you were looking at some funny buttons. So I was wondering, on behalf of the Bus Federation, though I loathe them, if you would mind taking a button Are you on the bus?
I guess I am now. I guess
so.
I just made a deal with the devil.
You did, and I'm very sorry for the repercussions that are going to come down the line. But
well, you guys are very nice to come by. Make sure you wash that off tonight because it'll really clog your pores.
I only wish it comes off. This is just me being who I am.
All right, Lucifer, Angelica, thanks so much for stopping by. Rick, thanks so much for booking these folks. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, nice to see you guys. All right. Okay, anyhow, I need a drink. That's it for our webcast. Bye. Hopefully you'll join us tomorrow again. I'm sorry we didn't get to that many questions, but keep them coming. We'll try to get to more tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Help.